guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So how are you all doing? I hope you're doing great, keeping safe and healthy. So if you're a newcomer into my YouTube channel, you're highly welcome. Please do me a favor by subscribing to my channel by pressing the red icon below. So every time I upload a new video, you're going to get notified, and please turn on your post notification. So every time I upload a new video, you get notified, so you'll be able to watch. And if you've been watching my videos so far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your effort. So on today's video, I'm going to be your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to be a lawyer on today's video. So what happened is I have to tell you about the terms and conditions regarding jobs, especially when you want to terminate your job or an employer terminates you. So first thing you have to understand is if you're working in a place and you don't feel comfortable working there, it doesn't mean you should get stuck in it or somebody is going to take you to the police station and lock you up if you say you don't want to work there anymore. So, according to the labor law, you have 3 months of probation. So, this 3 months is the trial between you, the employer, and you, the employee, and the employer. So, the employer is checking to see if you're capable of doing what he or she wants you to do, and you also you're checking if you're able to do what they want you to do. So, if you think that within this period or the job is very strenuous for you to do, is for you to tell your employer, okay, you're going to give your employer actually 1 day notice. That is if you're in the probation period. You're going to give your employer 1 day notice that you cannot work, or maybe the terms and the condition does not follow or it doesn't match. And same goes to your employer. If within the 3 months time and it says that you cannot do the job or you're not doing the job perfectly, or he or she does not really feel the vibes of your job, he or she can terminate you from this job. Now you have no case anywhere. You cannot take the employer to the labor market or the labor office and say, no, they have terminated me from my job. You have no case with this person. So where your case come, so like I was saying, what happened is you have no case, neither does the employer has any case with you. Now where the case come is when you have worked for 3 months and then you are over or you're done with your probation period and your employer just fires you for no reason. Like you did nothing wrong and he just tell you, okay, leave or I'm done with you. You have done nothing wrong. There is a case. And you know that case is the employer has to give you a compensation for termination. It's shocking, right? They pay you for terminating you. Yeah. And if you have to leave the job for, let's say you are done with the job after the probation period, which is the 3 months, you will give your employer 1 month notice. And that 1 month notice does not mean you will just leave. You will have to work for 1 month. Now, when you're done with this 1 month, he or she is eligible to pay you. You're not working for free. So he or she has to pay you for that 1 month of working. So, but if an employer terminates you for going against the labor laws, let's say maybe you have done fraud, maybe you are stealing or doing something, now he or she is not eligible to pay you. You remember you did something wrong, so he has a reason why he's terminating you, so he's not going to pay you. But if you did nothing, mm, yes, you have a case. He or she will pay you for terminating you. Why do you have to terminate me if I did not do anything? I've been working with you for the past 3 months and you did not see any fault. You choose to terminate my job after the fourth month. No, and even after terminating you or even after telling you to leave, he or she has to give you 1 month again to look for a job because you're leaving there. Where are you going to? And now I want to tell you some of the things you're going to, the benefits of termination. Not actually benefits, yeah, benefits actually. Okay, before I go to termination or the compensation to receive during termination, I want to give you some of the reasons why you can get terminated or some of the reasons that are acceptable by law for termination and some that are not acceptable. And that will make you need you to pay some money. The employer will need you to pay some money. So the first thing I want to talk about is the closure of the shop. So if, for example, the person's shop is not, like you see this corona period, right? This corona time has been so bad for the employers. Like they would tend not to terminate staffs so fast or easily. But if it happens that the shop is actually closing, now the employer goes to the labor office and then tell them, okay, I cannot run the shop anymore because I don't have money and stuff like this. He or she knows how he's going to approach the labor office, because the labor office gives you the right and the permission to open an institution or to open a business. Now if the business is not working, or he or she is on is not able to pay the staffs, what will happen is he or she will go to the labor office and tell them, okay, I cannot pay this money, I cannot continue because I don't have finance to continue this business. So you have 30 days to tell your staffs that this is what happened. So you're not going to just cancel their visa. Okay, for example, I'll take example of myself. What happened with me was a former company was closing down because my employer was not having the finance to continue running this shop. So what he did was he told all the staffs a month before. By then I was living in his accommodation, so I didn't have a place to stay, so I could not just leave. So what happened with me was he told me 1 month before time that, Vanessa, what happened is you need to get a job. So what happened now is he told me you need to get a job, and at that peak of time it was so difficult to get job because we had corona, and then we had a lot of Africans, a lot of Asians that had relocated to Bahrain, and they were also looking for jobs. So he got me a job and he told me, okay, I got a job for you, you can do this and you can work there. So I had the opportunity, but I did not do that job because it was not matching with my terms and conditions. So before he terminated us, before he told us we had to leave, what he did was he told us before time, 1 month before time, so you prepare psychologically, physically and financially. And during the termination period he has to pay you salary, and he will have to pay you half of that month's salary. So regarding that, he had already paid my salary for that month. Like, let's say he paid my salary on the 28th, and on the 29th he told me, Vanessa, I'm sorry, I cannot run this company. I already saw it from afar because the way the company was running, I knew he was going to shut down or something. So he told me on the 29th, the following day, that, Vanessa, I'm so sorry, but I don't have enough money to continue this business, so I cannot really cope up. What will happen is you guys need to get on that job, but for now I will just open your mobility. So mobility, I'm going to educate you more about the mobility. Mobility is when you have a visa, they can open it so another person can transfer your visa into his or her own visa. If your employer refuses to open your mobility, oh my god, I have to educate you about this mobility. If your employer refuses to open your mobility for you, you're doomed and doomed. But one thing is we have the labor office, the LMRA, which helps you, or which protects the employees, the employers and the employees, especially the employees. It protects them because most of us are expatriate, most of us are from let's say different countries, so they tend out to protect these people. So what happened is he opened my labor my mobility for me, so another person could easily transfer to me. So during that period of time I was looking for a job, he already gave me a notice period 1 month before time. So I had 1 month to look for another job, I had 1 month to stay in his accommodation, and I had 1 month to get my mobility. Like, my mobility was open so they could easily transfer. Because if the mobility is not transferred, I cannot work in another place. Or if the mobility is expired, now I have started getting into overstay and I have to start paying fines. So this is another reason why you can get terminated, and yeah, you have no case because he cannot really pay you. Now another reason why you cannot just get terminated is when you are, let's say, sick. Now with this pandemic, they cannot just fire you because of the pandemic and say, no, we have pandemic. You take them to the labor office, they'll pay you, of course. They cannot just fire you. What happened is, unless your annual sick leave is finished, but if your annual sick leave is not finished, they cannot just get up and terminate you. No. Yeah, no, they cannot just do that. So another reasons why, or let's say another thing why they don't have to terminate you is your sick leave. So regarding the termination terms and condition, according to Article 19 of 2006 article, labor law article, it states that when an employer finishes his job, or let's say his 2 years contract and his 3 years contract, your employer, the person who employed you, has to pay your flight ticket back home, unless you don't want to go back home. But according to this article 19 of the labor law regulatories, it shows that your employer has to pay your flight ticket. So if somebody say, no, my boss don't have to pay, your boss has to pay, because this is what the labor law states. Okay, your boss has to pay your flight ticket through and flow. If you have to come back, okay. If you don't want to come back, he has to pay it. Trust me, when you have finished your 2 years contract, and the entitlements or the things you'll be gaining after this is that you'll be compensated for your time of working and all the extra hours. Yeah, they're going to give you annual leave. That they're going to actually give you 2 months leave compensation, and they'll have to pay you during that leave. So can you imagine, you sit at home and they'll pay you? They'll pay you for the 2 months you're staying in your vacation. They have to pay you. And if you're terminating or you're done with your contract, they have to give you a certificate of leave or a certificate of termination. Now, termination is not a bad thing. This certificate of termination shows that it's going to show your years of working. It's going to show the kind of job you're working. It's going to show let's say your wage and everything. So they'll give you a certificate, and also your experience is going to be written there. So it's going to show you that it's going to be written there that you have exhausted this timing, and this is a certificate you have gotten from us for being a good staff, for working with us with this couple of time, and everything is going to be written there. So let me bring you back into the page or into the table. Termination is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing when you as an employee you do something bad. This is either you do fraudulent stuff or stealing or going against the rules and regulations that regulates that company. Okay, but if you don't go against that and your employer just chooses to fire you, he or she has to compensate you for firing you. So don't be scared. I'm doing this mostly for my Africans brothers and sisters. So you shouldn't think that because you are being terminated, you are not going to be paid. You'll be paid, especially if you don't do anything wrong. If you are not paid, you take this thing to the labor office. Now, the labor office is not to challenge your boss. The labor office is to make sure the rules and regulation regulate the company, and the laborers are being respected. And the second thing is, during your termination or after termination or during your termination, you have 1 month to look for a different job. So they don't just terminate you the very day and they ask you to leave. You have 1 month to look for a different job. And if you as an employee want to you want to leave the company, make sure you're doing the things rightly. So you're working according to how they want you to do, and you're respecting whatever they ask you to do, and you will be given a flight ticket to go back to your home country, expatriate. Yeah, this is according to the article 19 of the labor office 2026 article. Shows that 2006 article shows that the employer is eligible to pay your flight ticket to go back home, and also you'll be given some certain compensation for this, and you'll be paid some amount of money during your vacation. Now it depends on how you and your boss have discussed, or what are the terms and conditions you have discussed. So I hope I educated you guys, and I hope I didn't mix things up. If you have any other question, or if you have any question or any doubt, my comment section is open, wide and free. You can just type in whatever you want to type in, and I will be able to explain more or elaborate or give you full details on whatever questions you've been needing. So on my next video, I'm going to be talking about mobility. Yes, I brought this topic on mobility, but I'm going to be elaborating more. I'm going to expatiate it and tell you what this term mobility means when it comes to the visa. So not going too far, thank you guys for watching this video. If you've watched this video from the start till now, please don't go without giving me a thumbs up or telling a friend to subscribe to Nessa's Fantasy, because Nessa's Fantasy has a lot of educative things. I'm not only going to educate you about Bahrain, I also have a lot to say sassy things I'm going to be telling you about. So please don't go without liking, sharing, commenting to this video. So I'll see you guys again in my next video. So I hope I educated you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come to my channel. Bam, press the red icon and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Thank you once more. Bye bye.